right, Evie and I are back with the second episode of Gamer Dad, which is me chronicling, trying to figure out gaming and parenting at the same time, with the caveat that I do this for a living, so it's a little different than most people. Noah just turned a month old last week, so we have gotten some time to get used to being parents, which we are still not used to, and kind of try to figure out some loose attempt at a schedule with him. And then that has been, I've been juggling the added bonus of trying to figure out how to kind of do various games with him. I think the last episode I recorded this, the first one was I had kind of just committed to only really doing games you could pause. I was playing a lot of Wonderlands back then. Eventually I kind of just came to the conclusion that like I had to start Elden Ring eventually. Like this is too big of a game, too important to miss out on completely. So I, with the ammo needed, that I knew how to pause the game if I had to, and people telling me like, it's probably going to be fine. I started playing Elden Ring. That has been going pretty well, actually. I will do a separate video maybe tomorrow or something about my actual progress in Elden Ring, but I'm not going to say I'm pretty far because this game is so enormous, but I just beat the Academy of Rhea Lucia and what's her name there? Renala. And I've done a lot of exploring kind of around that entire region, around the lake and stuff. And I know there's a bazillion more things to do, but I have gotten pretty far. The main difference now is when you're a parent, especially a parent of a newborn, those old, like, kind of just giant yawning blocks of time you used to maybe have, I would go for, 3, 4, 5 hours, and a game I was reviewing, I could do 10 or 12 hours in a day of a game, just more or less straight, taking breaks for meals or whatever, but that's, kind of it. And at least for me in my current situation, that is no longer a thing that happens. I think the longest I've gone is maybe a 2-hour stretch of dedicated gaming, but mostly it's kind of 50 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and then taking breaks to go do whatever you got to do. But that's actually worked out because Elden Ring, you can just sort of put the controller down whenever. Like it's actually more forgiving than say Destiny in that way. Like Destiny, if I was running like a Destiny raid, I would have to just block out a dedicated period of time because you can't really do that and like interrupt the whole thing. Or like even running like anything in Destiny Crucible match, a strike play, it's like if you got to like get up and chat for 5 minutes, like you're going to get booted to orbit. Whereas at least Elden Ring, like eventually, if long enough, you might get disconnected from the server, but you're just kind of chilling there regardless, and it's not really a big deal to kind of drop it and pick it back up again. Like if you're in the middle of like some giant fort or something, or like in the middle of a boss battle, yeah, it's true that can be more disruptive, but that doesn't happen very often. I would say I've only really died in Elden Ring once or twice, like as a direct result of like some sort of interruption in some regard, as opposed to the hundreds of deaths I've died all on my own, because I am not very good. No, I'm okay, but I'm using magic, so you can take that how you will. I will say using magic has helped because it is less skill intensive. It's like spamming spells as opposed to like perfectly timing, dodge and block and parry windows and things like that. So another thing I figured out, so that bouncer behind him is like Noah's favorite little thing. He can be content in there, and I'll be there bouncing with my foot for long periods of time. I can do that at my computer too. I do that when I'm writing a lot during the mornings if my wife is busy doing other stuff. And then if I'm playing Elden Ring, I can bounce him there. On rare occasions when he's really sleepy, I can also hold him and play at the same time. I'm sure this is something that a lot of gamer dads have figured out with infants eventually. So I'm with the control. I don't think I could do this. I can't do this with mouse and keyboard, but I could do it with a controller. And so like he just kind of rests here, and you have the controller, and like I think he kind of likes the vibration of the controller, like me moving around a little. Like babies like when their heads are like jostled like a little bit because they were like being carted around for 9 months, like being walked around all the time by their mom. So they sort of like that kind of movement, and he's fallen asleep, many times like that, and I've had some pretty expansive playing sessions and made some pretty significant progress, and he's just like literally napping in my arms. I beat Renala while he was napping on me, thanks to magic spam, so that has worked out well. it is obviously going to take, a lot longer to get through this game and games in general with this, but there are things you figure out kind of as time goes on to both find gaps in the day to do this, and also find ways to hang out with him as you're playing at the same time. And it's slowly kind of coming into focus, like how this sort of works. Eventually he'll be in daycare because my wife has to go back to work, and I need to be back on a little bit more of a regimented schedule than I am. I'm sorry, my YouTube is falling off a little bit, but daily videos is another thing that's been a little bit hard. I was going to film this earlier, and I was trying to put him down for a nap, and then he was waking up every like 3 minutes, and I'm like, all right, I can't record. So that's kind of an adjustment too. But I think I'm a little surprised with how much I have been able to kind of make progress in Elden Ring, and I've been making videos on that. I've been making articles about that. So like that is, kind of reassuring to know that I can still find the time for something that huge and that expansive, even if, kind of a full playthrough of Elden Ring is going to take me till, I don't know, July. Who knows at this current rate. I remain nervous about how Destiny is going to go, because Destiny is an entirely different animal, where it is much less forgiving in terms of you going AFK when you need to. Even in solo content, for the most part, if you're kind of in an online mission environment, it is difficult. So I'm probably going to go back to Destiny for Guardian Games, which is just, you're probably going to have to run some playlist activities. I don't think it'll be anything more involved than that. And then the new season will start in about a little over a month from now, and then I will have to like really, really get back into Destiny at the beginning of, what is it? It'll be like kind of the end of May. I don't actually remember when the season ends. I gotta look that up. I think it's like the end of May. It's like somewhere around my birthday. And then we will see how that goes. Then it will go to daycare, and then we'll start a different routine with its own new sets of challenges and benefits and things. Just in terms of more general parenting stuff, like the last month has been really, really challenging, but really fun. He's a lot more alert now, and like kind of becoming a little person instead of just like this little schmoop that just like sleeps and eats and stuff. Like, yeah, he just still kind of sleeps and eats and whatever, but you can start to see the personality coming through a little bit more. I still can't decide if he looks more like my wife or me. I think he's a pretty good blend, but we'll see as time goes on. We have one of our other friends who is, I think, scheduled to give birth today, and her daughter and Noah are going to be little daycare buddies in the same daycare. So we got my wife is a pediatrician, and so we have a ton of pediatrician friends here, a lot of them with kids all under 1 year old or currently pregnant. So like this is kind of like the thing around here. So like we have a good support system. And my wife's family's come out, my family's about to come out pretty soon here. And yeah, I think it is what everyone says. It is very challenging, but also very rewarding, very high highs, very low lows, all of that stuff. And then complicated by this kind of extra dimension of me attempting to kind of keep on a normal work schedule with no real paternity leave. And then also, it's not just like I can get my writing done during the day, like I'm doing that, but in order to have things to write about, I need to be catching up on this or that show. I need to be, playing Elden Ring and all these other games in a serious capacity in order to be able to write about them and not sound like an idiot. And I haven't sounded like an idiot anyway, because I'm learning things like you can sprint in Elden Ring after like 10 hours or whatever. But to be fair, that is a really weird button to have sprint mapped to, so I don't feel too bad about that. But I will talk more about my kind of specific progress in Elden Ring in another video, but I just wanted to do another Gamer Dad update and just kind of how things have been going. Maybe a little less chaotic than last time. Still plenty chaotic in general though. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Take care.